Hey guys, Franco Charles here with Empowered Leadership. My beautiful wife, Carol. Of course, Carol is here as well. Carol, you want to say something?
Just hi.
Hi everyone. Today we have an amazing opportunity to have Mr. Tim DePace here. And I'm going to have him to share a little bit about his life. But guys, let me tell you this real quick. We're so encouraged and so empowered and inspired by his life. I got the opportunity to meet Mr. DePace over a year ago. And it was by chance over a cup of coffee when he was walking in. Didn't ask for it, but I said, can I buy you a cup of coffee today? It's amazing what a cup of coffee will allow you to come into. But over a period of time, just seeing him, just sitting down and just saying good morning, here's one of the questions that I will always ask him. I say, hey, do you have a word for me today? And I've learned so much from him and his wisdom, I just couldn't keep it to myself. So here today is Mr. DePace to share a little bit about his life before we get into what we have for you today. Mr. DePace, please tell us about yourself, and thank you for accepting this opportunity to be here with Carol and I.
Thank you. About myself, I will give you my history. I retired from the Navy as a Master Chief Petty Officer, and then after that, I am also retired from the federal government after so many years. So my experience is I've worked with military teams, and we'll get into it.
We're going to be talking about today.
Yes, and then I've also worked the civilian side with teams, because training and stuff I talk about and empowerment is strictly, it's on both sides.
It's on both sides. That's what but see, that is why when I got the opportunity to hear you, I mean, the wisdom that you have in that aspect, because most of the time, Carol and I, we're providing team development and leadership to corporate, to nonprofit, which is churches, and individual empowerment and helping teams to grow. But hearing your wisdom on the military side and the civilian side, that's why I have you here today. So I want you to be relaxed. So Carol is going to kick us off with the first question.
So again, Mr. Tim, what does team mean to you personally?
All right, you'll hear me say it a couple times. There's military side, and then there's the civilian side. On the military side, it's life and death. I had the opportunity to work and support the special ops area, and my support literally would be life or death or failure of mission.
Wow.
And on the civilian side, it's not life and death there, but it is, my job was to, I call it find bad guys, pass it on to the folks who's gonna take care of them. Or what I mean by that is arrest or whatever they want to do.
You know, the interesting thing about it, when Carol and I was hanging out with you, I like to call it the parking lot talk, when we went for our coffee the other morning, and you were sharing how important it is that when everybody worked together
Yes.
as a team. Talk a little bit about that.
All right, a little bit about that is, for my sake, I had to put together a team. I had to hire them, look at the resumes. Every single person is a different person. So I had to find, if I'm putting together a team, I had to find the bits and pieces that I need for the team. Like as I said, everyone's different, but the objective is can I put all these people together? Can I get them to work together as a team? And can I get them to communicate as a team? Because without that, your job is going to be extremely difficult.
Whoa.
And then every person, as I said here, every person has their own strength and a weakness. And what you got to do is play on their strength, but also develop their weakness to be where it becomes a strength.
Wow. Carol, you want to add anything to that?
I know you mentioned something that was I took away from our conversation, and you were saying, because it's really not just for civilian, but also, you know, like you said, in the military, life and death. You said there was one, like everybody has a focus or a mission.
Yes. Okay. So a couple of things we're going to get down into now. Maybe let's say challenges and growth.
That's correct.
So we'll slide in that. With regards to putting together a team, what I have noticed anywhere I've gone is, does the team you inherit or the ones you hire, do they even know the military command you're at or the civilian business? do they know the mission, vision, goals, and
That's the
objectives
part right there. Yeah.
from the company? And what I found out is whatever department, division you're in, the folks down at the bottom need to understand what the company's big picture is. Okay, once they have a mission, got that. Vision, here's our vision for the year. And then objectives, what are we trying to do, all right? And then that gets passed down to the next leadership. So we've got a chain of command. And then let's say it gets to a department, you have a person in that department. They have to create, because each department has a different duty to do or a different requirement they take care of, whether it be logistics or whatever it is. What is that department's mission, vision, goals, and objectives? So now you know what your boss wants from you. And as you get down farther, once you understand those, then the person you're working with the supervisor puts together performance objectives. This is what I need you to do. As long as they understand that, okay, then they're going to try to achieve what your performance objectives are. And then from there,
I love this.
What I always wanted, if you do extra, keep track of it. I want to know what's going on, because at the end of the year, for performance, did you get your performance? Here's the extra that I did. And like sometimes we had spot awards, okay? And
Talk about that.
when I talk about spot awards, to reward these folks, in the military, you get a medal, okay? Whatever it may be, okay?
Right.
But they have to work their tail off. On the civilian side, giving
A gift card, a movie night, something.
not even that. It's, giving statues or plaques, whatever. It's not good for the lower level people. They're working their tail off. Spot award, $1,000, $500. They won't know that that's coming.
And it's called Spot Award.
We call it spot award.
Just right on the spot?
Well,
Or this
no,
is
no,
something
no.
that they actually...
Well, no, it'll be
It's
all,
accumulated.
because what's gonna happen is the supervisor's gonna get like their 6-month evaluation.
Okay.
See what they're doing, that deserves a spot award. Because most of your folks down low are working their tail off.
Correct.
And may be difficult, so, hey, here's $500, you've just made them happy.
Money makes
Somebody,
you happy.
it does, and that's what I've learned is, out in the corporate world, that's, that
Yes.
makes somebody happy.
It makes somebody happy.
Yes.
So you found out that this is not only something that's just secluded just for the military, but
No.
it should be somewhere, everywhere.
Yeah, I use the framework I've explained. It doesn't matter what I do for a job. If you want me to do X, Y, and Z, this is how I'm gonna do. Now, first I have myself, if I've not been with a corporate company, then I have to understand what the corporate company is. Ask. Now this comes into communications, especially when you're building a team. You have to communicate. And one of the things I look at is I've been to leadership training, and the worst leadership thing you have on yourself is an authoritarian. You're not going to get stuff done when somebody's hitting the just hammering you.
Wow, Mr.
Authoritarians is the worst type of leadership you could possibly have. You've got to be able to work together, communicate. You can't make the people afraid of you, because I want them to come into my office and say whatever. The other thing I do is I have a weekly meeting, and I've empowered them. Here's what I've laid out.
Right. So in other words, they're not guessing what they're going to do.
That gets you started, right?
Ah.
These young kids, I'm old school. These kids come in with brilliant minds.
Right.
I ask them, hey, we've been doing this for 2 or 3 months. Tell me what I can do better. Okay? They think differently than me. And so I sit there and I said, I don't care who's they're from, just give me the information. And then they give me the information. We all talk about it. Now you've got the team talking together.
But Mr. Tim, if I could even interject that took confidence within you. So was there
as a leader, you got to be humble. Okay? Not a lot of people like doing that because they're in charge and they want to be in charge. I get it, but what in my case, so it'll lead to the other thing is that once I get the team communicating, let me back up just a second because I missed something. Then that's a training plan, okay?
A training plan.
A training plan. So when I bring the people in, there's certain things that I want them to know. I want them to know the company's mission, vision, goals, and objectives. Why are you here? Here's what you're building or doing for the company, so they understand what they're doing. A lot of them, I talk with my brother who's doing the same thing out in the civilian world with his place. You know, they don't know what's going on. They are just doing a job, and okay, so they're not invested into it. You want them to take ownership, okay, and communicate. So I put together, whether it be at the smallest levels, PowerPoint. You come in, I'm going to give you a day or 2 days of training, okay, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to know. And then from there, go off and do great things. But when I bring in, you know, at the 6 months mark, I told you that I want to know what they think. Can we do this? We did a lot of written products. Can we make this better? Absolutely. Yeah. Tell me what we need to do. And we're all there as a team. And this one will go, I think we can do it better this way. And the other one, you know, you let them go back and forth. And then they come up with a solution. I'm like, okay, go for it. So you have to, you know, you have to be humble enough to say, y'all think we can do it better this way? Go for it.
That is amazing.
All I had to do is make a decision,
Yes, we will.
and off they go. Because now you got them invested.
Yeah.
And we'll do that every 6 months. You know, how we doing, you know. And then here's the big one where you have to be really humble, is that I will send out an email to my team, and how am I doing?
Well, you would ask this to the team.
I would ask the team, how am I doing? Good and bad. And then I said, print it out, leave it on my desk. You don't even have to put your name on it.
Wow.
I'll look at it and then put the team together, and I said, here's what I see. I got it, thank you very much, I'll adjust.
And it just took one decision from you. Like, so
I just told them this is what I said, here you go.
So when you were evaluating what their feedback was, you made a decision to say, you know what, I can't decide to change that.
I tell them, I empower the team, the lower level people. Tell me what you think we can do better.
But you made a decision in order to put that out there to get a response.
You know, as I work with my team, they got to know I have their back at all times.
Unbelievable.
All right? So if you think we can do something better, if you think I can organize better, we don't have the right technology or logistics stuff.
What can we do to improve it?
Well, what do you need? Okay, because if you need this, this, and this, I can go to the supervisor and say, we need this to make this better and more organized.
Now this is next level leadership. This is next level training. I've never heard that part where we get the leader to say, hey, give me my scorecard. Go ahead, Carl.
And I love how you did that. So when you did ask for their feedback, did you ever take anything that they gave you as what you were asking for, requesting?
Personal?
Personal.
No, you can't. It's humble when you read, you know, you're a dirtbag. Okay, I get it. That happens at times. But my point is, I do take it serious. Okay,
Yes.
because again, it's part of the team.
Serious but not personal.
No, not personal. Never personal.
Wow, talk about that.
Because if you want the team to succeed, you got to be humble enough to ask them what they think. The supervisor may think they're doing a phenomenal job, not realizing everybody underneath them are fed up. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because again, it's all teamwork. It doesn't matter where you are in a company, department, division, however it's broken down. If this is logistics, if this is admin, if this is something else, you know, the supervisors need to score themselves. And they got to be humble enough to read the feedback. And they can improve.
Guys, you see why we have Mr. Tim here today, former military, giving us a whole different perspective on leadership and team. Are you getting this? Wow. You might as well continue. You want to go to the second question? You are literally giving this one.
Yeah, Mr. Tim, what's the biggest challenge you've seen in team dynamics?
People that just can't deal with that. What I mean by that is you have introvert people, okay, and you're trying to bring them out. I'll give you an example. There was one kid that I think he was extremely smart, but he couldn't assimilate to what's going on. What I mean is, I'm not pointing it out, but he was so introvert, I mean, to the point where he didn't know what to wear. I mean, he did wear clothes and he thought he was doing X, Y, and Z. And then, I mean, for me, as a supervisor, I said, okay, I'm gonna give you some basic things to wear to work. Now that's at the extreme level.
Right.
But then once I got him organized and once I got him to open up, and I needed a lot of help from the team to get him to open up. So, I mean, literally to the point, this guy would come in the morning, he'd be all quiet, going to his desk, and there's a couple individuals on my team that demanded a good morning. I think it's great. And once it started with that, he became more and more open because he got used to it.
Helped him to get, wow.
I helped him to come out of his shell.
That's amazing, man.
And he is a phenomenal worker. Now.
So it's also even in the workplace, from your experience, that's what leadership is all about. That's what teamwork is all about. It's helping others to become better than they can be and not leaving them the way they should be or where they found
where they're at.
Where they're at.
And I had our Master Chief a long time ago tell me this. He goes, DePace, I don't care if you're a dirtbag or not. When you come here to work, your uniform better be squared away. Okay? You better look good because first impression's everything.
Yes.
But you can be the biggest dirtbag.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. You look squared away, people are going to look at you, and that's where you're going to get recognition. You know, hey, who's that person over there? They look squared away. Okay, so
Correct.
it helps. So again, it's military.
No, that's good stuff.
No, that's something that we, as for us, that's one of the things that we always, even with our children.
Yeah, first
impressions, everything.
Yeah, if you're representing a company, you better be looking good.
Yes.
Don't look like a slob. You know,
Exactly.
everything. You know, whatever the dress policy is, casual, business. Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. I know it's not in our questions, but we're talking about, first impressions. Do you think that it's very important, not just, and it's all about a buy-in. Do you think that when you've established those things, that it's very important for them also, not just in the workplace or, the military, do you also think that it's very important for them to also take that in their personal lives? Like they can't.
Hey, if they're going out on the weekend, don't tell me you're going to go out as a slum. You're not.
Right. You're representing something.
You're going out. You want, look presentable. Wow. Every person's different. I'm not telling you what to wear, but again, if you start talking about your company's name and you get in trouble, you're going to make them look bad.
One of the things I love that you mentioned as well, so that being in the military and the status of position that you had at the moment, at the time, you couldn't even have a social media or something like that.
Oh, could not have social media.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are some
There's some restrictions.
Yeah, and even in corporate world too, you can't, do things or,
You just can't just do anything because you represent a brand.
There are restrictions.
Yeah, and you're seeing what's happening right now in the current political situation.
Absolutely.
And for us, don't want any part of it.
Now, you mentioned to me, you said, hey, I'm retired, you don't have to call me. But you are a Master
Chief.
Master Chief. Talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Master Chief is the highest level you can achieve.
I want you to talk about it. Listen to this, guys.
Everything for myself when I'm building a team. Everywhere I went, any group I worked with, it's teamwork. Okay, so I got to go in there, see what's going on, talk with, because there's usually going to be lower level chiefs down there. But are they,
It's amazing.
It's what I can see. It's like a new set of eyes coming into a situation. Okay, we can improve there. He's done a great job here. So you got to have that communication with your lower level supervisors to make sure everything works. If this one's being too strict, you got to have some strictness in it.
Correct.
But again, it's teamwork. Okay, if you got one constantly yelling and screaming at you, the person's going to turn you off.
Right, and I love how you mentioned that it's the noise. You said they will not be able to function within that noise.
Well, in some of the environments that I was in, you can't have all this noise in there. And what I mean by that, you can't have your radio playing or whatever you're listening to. You got to be quiet and focused, because in the military, you're in an environment, as I said earlier, life or death. okay? So everybody's gotta be focused on their job, you know? So you have to make sure. In my civilian career, you're putting together stuff that may or may not get to the president. So that's a possibility. So again, what you're doing does make a difference.
Does make a difference, and that's the
Absolutely.
mindset to have when you're on a team.
Yeah.
Because everything that you're doing is leading to something bigger. And I love how you said that when you're on a team, and whether it be an organization, a business, a church, you have to have the mission in mind.
Yeah.
So
What's the mission?
What's the mission?
your goals and objectives?
Yeah.
So,
Final question, and I know we got, man,
Okay.
this is amazing.
So what advice would you give to someone that wants to build a successful team?
well, I'm going to give you something that a Navy SEAL gave me. He told me about this and how the SEALs become successful. It's not, yes, they do great things and they're totally awesome. But what he had told me was, it takes, so you have the administrative people. You're not going anywhere until you get your paperwork.
I love it.
So they're
I
part
love
of it. Then you have your logistics. Those guys give you all your cool guys stuff.
Okay,
You know, make
okay.
them look cool, make them do their job. Then you have communications. Everyone's got to be communicating. Then you have your intel position, all right? They've got to be able to do their job, all right? Then you've got the SEAL team. And then you've got the full force
Ooh.
of
I remember you shared that with us. Let me share this real quick. For many of you that are watching and tuning in real quick, when you come across wisdom like this, I gotta tell you, Mr. Tim DePace, I appreciate you taking the time to be with Carol and I today, right here on Empower Leadership, hearing from a whole completely different perspective, the military and civilian lifestyle, which Mr. DePace has been able to bring to us today. Listen, if you're growing and building, whether it be a church, a business, whatever you're doing, your vision, these are some important strategies to take away. So in final words or comments, what would you leave the audience with at this time?
I gave you some of the things that you can possibly look at.
Yes.
Figure out what your job is, what type of people do you need, okay? Because even the new people coming in, is there a policy? You have to understand the policy documents, whether it be.
So you don't just throw people in and stop.
Well, I've seen a lot of people just thrown in,
Oh.
and the command itself didn't give the individual the information they needed to succeed. So, look at policy. What's the policy, especially HR, because you got to be careful. Whatever it may be. If they're saying something, it should be backed up by policy. So a lot of times and everybody knows me. I was a policy guy. I look at the policy, see what the exact way to do it. And been involved in a lot of things where people follow part of it, but not all of it, or never even read it.
Wow.
So to keep peace and to understand stuff, if you read the policy, you're good to go.
That's awesome.
You're not getting in trouble.
You're not getting in trouble. Carol, any final words? Any final words? Any final comments?
No, this was a really good insight, and just to hear your perspective on
Oh, yeah.
and what we do.
Well, this is what I will get when I was encountered Mr. Tim on the Starbucks. So thought I would just share it. Awesome. So final words on my part is this: if you're building, make sure you continue to build the right people around you, so that you will continue to have the success and gain the success that you so desire. Thank you so much again. Appreciate it. Until next time, you stay empowered.